Alright, what is going on, everybody? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever it is for you, and welcome to the stream. I am back after a day off to get many things done. And it was a very productive day, let me tell you. Tons of things that I needed to get around to or needed to get completed have been completed. Including, that's right, my final set of furniture, which, you know, originally was ordered before any of the other furniture in here by my parents back in Connecticut as a housewarming gift, and was delayed constantly by this stupid company. Finally got delivered yesterday, and I am pleased to announce that the furniture is great. And as of last night, I finally have unpacked my clothes, which have been sitting in bins and plastic containers for about a month and a half. So I finally got all my clothes unpacked, and I can actually see what I have here. And finally, I have to say this. I do have to say this. As of today, I do kind of feel like this new house is my home. I've said before this, it was more like I was getting transitioned in, I was getting adjusted and changed to living here. Now that the final furniture is here, and I actually did the final meeting with the president of the board of directors who were part of this, you know, this private living facility or whatever. We had a meeting with them yesterday. They explained some rules. They showed us all kinds of stuff about the house. I feel settled in now. I feel good. I feel like this is my new place, you know, my new, rather than being like a sticking out like a sore thumb. I feel like I finally have settled in. And the weather here is great. Wow. What difference a few days made. Back on Monday, we had record high temperatures in the area, topping 100 degrees in some parts. Of course, me not having air conditioning here, it was a horrendous day for me. But today is a beautiful, it's probably about 70 degrees outside. In my office, it is so cool that I am able to not have any fans on. That's right, there are no fans on in my office right now, so if you hear any ambient noise, you're literally hearing the noise of my PC or the consoles running. That's it. So, like I said, pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Feeling great. Settled in to the new home. And, you know, it makes me excited to come back from a day off now and to start a new game, a new playthrough, which I hope that you are going to enjoy today, because it is a return to the classics. Alright, and what I mean by that is a return back to a world that we haven't visited in a few years. If you remember correctly, a few years back, I don't think it was last year, and I can't remember if it was 2012 or 2011. It might have been 2012, but I could be wrong. I decided to do a marathon during the summer downtime, which we're in right now currently, of Grand Theft Auto games. Now, I've told everyone that the PS2 era was that era of gaming that I completely missed out on because I was so heavily playing Street Fighter competitively. So, I never played any of the classic Grand Theft Auto games at that point, including any of the ones that were open world, kind of, you know, third person, roaming. And I mean, these games were revolutionary. Let's face it, these games pretty much created a genre that became incredibly popular, that became incredibly profitable, and have created some of the most original, interesting games that we've ever seen. The sandbox, per se, as they call it. So that summer was a lot of fun for me to take that month or so that I was just doing Grand Theft Auto and experiencing Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, admittedly, since I had never played those games before, they were quite difficult. It was pretty hard for me to get through them. There were a lot of times where I got stuck on certain missions and I would be replaying them for an hour or more. I remember this one particular mission in Vice City that I could not fucking beat. I remember this one, you know, in San Andreas Flight School. And then I also remember in the original Grand Theft Auto 3, there was this mission where there was like a 10-minute run, a 10-minute drive And at the end of it, there kept being issues with me fucking up, or then there was game bugs and shit, or I would pass through a bridge and drown. So there was some pretty difficult parts in those games. And at that time, I actually said that that I wanted to do other Grand Theft Auto games too, because I had enjoyed that summer marathon so much. And I even mentioned I went and I bought Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories, and I was planning on getting Liberty City Stories. But as happens with me, and with all the stuff that I do here, sometimes, you know, I get caught up with other stuff, or sometimes I just run out of time. And it very much was a downtime marathon. Okay? And the fact that the downtime ran out, and, you know, we got busy again for the rest of that year, then we got into new stuff subsequently, I never got back to it. So I never went back to Grand Theft Auto Classics. I mean, after that, of course, I did play some Grand Theft Auto 4. We had Grand Theft Auto 5 last year, but I never went back to the Classics. And I realized, almost like an epiphany earlier this week, I was thinking about, gee, it's the summer, it's downtime. I have another week to 2 weeks where I'm going to have an opening slot for something major. And I said, what is it that I should play? And I realized, geez, you know what? I've got Vice City Stories kind of sitting around here, and I never played it. Now, actually, what we're going to talk a little bit about right now is what version of the game I am actually playing, okay? Because originally I thought I was going to play the PS2 version on a PS2 console. I actually have my Elgato capture device. It's the older capture device that I used about a year ago, but I stopped using it because I was having issues with the audio. So, I hooked up the Elgato capture device. I hooked up the PS2 to it, and I hooked it up to my PC. I installed all the drivers and everything, and it seems to work through XSplit. I cannot get it to work through OBS, which is the program I currently use for doing most of my gameplay. I don't know why. OBS is not recognizing it as a video source, and I don't know how to fix that. So I went into XSplit, it showed up, okay, and I messed with it a little bit. But unfortunately, it seems like that audio issue that I had a year and a half ago was never fixed. Because I'm still getting a little bit of it. Like, it's random. Sometimes I'll get it, and sometimes I won't. Sometimes it's the whole time. Sometimes it's intermittent. And I looked online, and still, a year and a half later, no one can explain what this issue is. Elgato never fixed it. XSplit people don't know how to fix it. No one knows what to do to get rid of this audio issue. So, unfortunately, I said it would really suck if I was forced to play this version of the game, but it is what it is. If there's going to be a few audio ticks, there might be, okay? But luckily for me, thanks to the help of some people today, I actually got around that issue, so let's explain. I went on to PlayStation Network, and I searched for Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. I did a search for it, right? Right there in the PSN search, it pops up, Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. So I click on it, and it says for $20 you can buy the game for PSP/PS Vita. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, now I know that this game actually was a Vita game. I'm sorry, I screwed up. It was a PSP game before it was anything else. This game actually was made and designed for PSP, the old PlayStation Portable handheld system, and then later it was ported to play on PS2 and then other stuff. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, why would I want the PSP version of this game? This is so stupid. And $20? That's insane. For a game this old, $20? Like, they're out of their minds. So I said, oh well, I guess I'm just going to have to play the PS2 version. If we have these audio ticks, we have them, right? Luckily, a few people responded on Twitter, and I do want to give a shout out to everyone and say thank you very much if you did respond on Twitter and gave me the information, because I didn't know this. The game is on a PS2 emulated version, okay, on PlayStation Network, similarly to how earlier this year we played Resident Evil 2, just last month. It's the same deal, where they take an older version of the game and they emulate it on the PS3. However, they hid it in the PlayStation 2 Classics menu, which first of all makes no sense because the game is not a PS2 Classic, it's a PSP game that was ported to PS2. So right there, that makes no sense. In addition, it doesn't show up in the search. So if you just search for Vice City Stories, you cannot find the PS2 version of it. You only get the PSP. You have to manually go to the Classics area of PlayStation Store in order to find this. Why on earth Sony did it that way, I have no clue. But thank you very much to those of you who helped me find it. I did get it. It's only $10, by the way, not $20. So it's actually more expensive for the portable version of the game than for the console adaptation of the game. Figure that one out. And, so yeah, so I have it, and we're going to be playing it on PS3 today. Of course, it is the PS2 version of the game, and no, they did not update the visuals, they did not update the gameplay, it's just a straight port from the PSP to the PS2, and now we're emulating the PS2 on the PS3. I know this is incredibly complicated, but we're going to be playing it, alright? Being that it is a standard definition game, no, I'm not going to be recording and broadcasting in 1080p. I think that would be an incredible waste of bandwidth, because you would see literally no differences. It's going to look pixelated no matter what we do. In addition, I'm not doing 60 frames per second, because when I've attempted to do 60 frames per second off of my PS3, it has not had very good results. Usually the video ends up getting very choppy, and apparently it's because XSplit, which is the program that I need to use to capture PS3, is such a memory whore that it destroys my processor and entirely makes the video chop up and look shitty. So we're going to be playing at 720p 30 frames per second, which by the way is what the game runs at anyway, so you're not going to see any difference than if you were playing the game yourself. Okay? So let us talk a little bit about how this is going to happen. I'm going to be playing this today on stream, probably for about 3.5 to almost 4 hours, depending on when I actually get started here. Okay. And then today on second stream, we're going to be playing Ratchet & Clank 2. And you know, I got something to say about this because I am a little bit annoyed, and people need to learn to basically grow up when it comes to stuff like this, alright? Social media. Social media is a way for people to not only disseminate information quickly and at a rapid pace, at a way like we've never had the ability to before, but it's also a way to toss ideas out to an open audience, an open polling system basically, and let people respond, okay? And so that's how I use social media. You'll see me tweet about, okay, here's the schedule for tomorrow, here's the games I'm thinking of playing, what do you guys think of this, what do you guys think of that, what characters would you like to see me play with in Street Fighter today, yada yada yada. But the other day, this was Tuesday night, after Tuesday night, I had played Ratchet & Clank 2 on my second stream. And people for days had been begging me, Phil, do the arena. Phil, try the arena, play the arena, do the arena, arena. So everyone is yelling this in the stream chat. Do the arena, do the arena. Now typically, I don't let that influence me too much, but being that apparently these were the most hardcore fans of the game, right, that were watching me on stream, I said, okay, I will do the arenas, because you guys have been asking for it for so much. So I go into the arenas, and for about an hour I played the arenas, and I beat the first arena completely, went to the second arena, and then I go back and I look at the stream numbers by the end of the stream, and we have less than 300 people watching. Basically, the arena was so fucking boring that everyone left. Subsequently, the videos on YouTube got almost no attention. You're like, why is he doing the arena? This is boring. And a lot of people would say, just don't play this game anymore, play something else. So I'm directly responding to what I saw that night, alright? To what people were directly telling me, what people were, you know, attendance. And I was just throwing an idea out on Twitter, and I said, gee, maybe on Thursday when I come back, since it looks like Ask the King is done, because the website, by the way, was down at that point, so no one could post up questions for Ask the King, which is why we don't have an episode of it today. Maybe I'll come back and I'll play 2 new games on Thursday, and, you know, Ratchet & Clank, since no one really is interested in it anymore, that's it, right? Immediately, overnight, a backlash of people attacked me. You're a quitter, you quit everything, how dare you, you've lost the respect of your fans, you're making the wrong decision, you're an asshole, fuck you, Phil, blah, blah, blah. Like, real nasty stuff. Now, it would have been one thing if someone just says, oh, well, Phil, I disagree with that decision. I would really like to see you beat the game, regardless of the fact that it's not getting a lot of attention or views. I really like it, and it would make a lot of sense for you to finish it. That's not what I got. You know what I mean? Like, if I got sensible replies, I would have not had this reaction that I'm having. But it was just people who, like, obviously have no social skills because they're just exploding with rage as if I had taken my copy of the game and smashed it on camera saying it was the worst game ever. Fuck you, Phil. You're an asshole. Fuck, you know, nasty shit. And you have to understand, that's not the way to get your point across. If anything, that's just going to piss me off. That's not going to make me continue to play a game. That's going to make me want to play it less because basically you're showing me that you're an immature asshole, and that's the people who are dying for me to play this game. So I'm reading these tweets, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, these people are completely overreacting. Nowhere on Twitter did I actually say that I was quitting. Nowhere. I actually just said I was thinking of stopping the playthrough and playing 2 new games on Thursday. It was a thought. It was me airing my thoughts to the internet, and I got destroyed on Twitter for it. So, understand this. This is what social media is. It's a way to vent those kind of ideas. And don't get me wrong, the point got across that, you know, no, Phil, you've played half the game, you should keep playing it, you should beat it, regardless of the fact if it's getting great views or not, you should still keep playing it. That being said, I hope that you people show up. You know what I mean? Like, the people who were out there and were screaming and yelling and kicking that I was going to drop this playthrough, even though I never said I was, it was just a thought. You better show up and watch the content, because you got people here, you know, who are interested and who really want it, who apparently want to see it. But if I go to stream it and I've got 100 people watching, you know what I mean? When there's people who are chomping at the bit to see me play other stuff, and they're way more eager to attend those streams, you know what I mean? It's tricky. I'm not, you know, don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying Ratchet & Clank a lot. Okay. Ratchet & Clank 2 is pretty good. In fact, I think it's much better than the first game was. And I really am having fun with it. But I think what happened was, unfortunately, I just went to do this arena, which was a bad idea because it is repetitive gameplay content, and people got turned off. So I'm just going to, from now on, as I play it, I'm just going to continue through with the main story of the game and just follow along with that. I'm not going to go do the repetitive side stuff because it's going to derail everything and people aren't going to be interested in it. I see that now. But I really hope people show up because you asked for it, you attack me on stream, so hopefully people understand that this is important and you show up and you watch it. You know what I mean? Because again, there are hundreds, if not thousands of people who would love to see me play other stuff other than Ratchet & Clank 2. I'm taking the time to do it, but that means you actually have to show up and watch it, whether it's on stream or on YouTube or both or whatever, however you choose to watch the content is your choice, alright? So just understand that when I say stuff on Twitter like that, it's not a definitive thing, especially if I didn't say that on Twitter, you know what I mean? I didn't say, that's it, it's over, fuck this game, fuck all you guys for not watching it. I didn't say anything like that. If I'd said stuff like that, okay, those kind of reactions would have absolutely been warranted. But I never even went as far to say that I was even going to stop playing it. It was just a thought, and I got, like, destroyed for having a thought. God forbid that I actually have a thought in this cranium of mine. There's enough empty space up there that there should be a couple thoughts every once in a while, and I would hope not to be lynched for them. Okay. Alright, everybody. So, we're about to get started with, as you see, Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. I thank you for being here on stream. Again, we're going to be playing for about 3.5 hours or so. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. It all depends. As always, keep in mind that we are going to be uploading these videos to YouTube immediately following the stream. So if you cannot attend the whole stream, that is perfectly fine. These videos will be on demand on my YouTube channel, DSP Gaming. Immediately following the stream, I will be uploading them, okay? Also keep in mind that if you do become a paid subscriber of this channel on Twitch, that you get access to all of the archive streams for a 60-day period. It is right now. And so you can watch it at your convenience all in one block. So listen, some people like to see it all in one block. Some people like the videos that I cut up into roughly 10-minute clips on YouTube, because it's a cool, quick snippet, and you know where to stop if you finish a video, versus on here it can be pretty tricky if you're watching a stream and you forget where you stop. How the hell, where do I resume? So it's basically, I'm giving you the same content in multiple formats to your liking. So you can either watch on YouTube, you can watch it here, if you're a paid subscriber. There's a lot of different ways to watch my content. So I like to, you know, throw that out there just so everyone realizes there's not just one format. You can do it multiple different ways, okay? And that's pretty much it. The only final thing that I want to say is something that a lot of people already, even in the stream chat, are saying, which is absolutely ridiculous. Of course, because people think that they're right, and if you can stick it to someone on the internet that said something, you can get where you go, I got him, I was right and you were wrong, so fuck you. Well, guess what? You're not right, and I'm going to explain why, and I think the people who are saying stuff in the stream chat know what I'm talking about. So earlier this week at Gamescom, Microsoft came out and had this huge announcement that the Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is the next installment of Tomb Raider, was going to be an Xbox exclusive for holiday 2015. Only on Xbox, it said. So people didn't know how to take that. They were like, does that mean that this is an Xbox exclusive, like you can't get it on any other console? Really? Because if that's the case, that's a huge acquisition for Microsoft, because Tomb Raider started on Sony, started on the PlayStation, and for it to shift over to another company like that would be a huge acquisition. Now that day, hold on a second because my controller says it's low battery, I'm going to plug it in quickly. Okay. Got the cord here. Alright. So anyway, that day, there was a ton of controversy and a ton of speculation as to what that announcement meant. Again, was it really a Sony, I'm sorry, a Microsoft exclusive? Had Microsoft purchased this game, essentially? And a lot of people at that day were even saying Xbox One exclusive. It would only be on Xbox One, and this was going to be Microsoft's big push to try to get people to buy an Xbox One, okay? But it was very unclear, and that's what I talked about on Monday. It was unclear. It wasn't clear what exactly it was. No one really knew that the definitive answer to what the announcement meant. It wasn't in black and white. And there was speculation all over the internet. There were threads on NeoGAF and threads here and there, everywhere. Everyone stating their guess, but no one actually had concrete information at that point, okay? On Tuesday, someone interviewed Phil Spencer, who works for Microsoft. And Phil Spencer said, okay, no, it's a timed exclusive, meaning we're going to get it first, both on Xbox One and on Xbox 360, which is a big reveal because people thought it was only going to be Xbox One. You know, and then later on, other consoles will get it. So, basically, when you say only on Xbox Holiday 2015, obviously that's kind of a, it's misleading. You know what I mean? And the announcement itself was misleading, and it was kind of not a fair announcement, because who would have known what the hell that meant, right? But it is what it is. So Phil Spencer did announce on Tuesday that it's a timed exclusive, and then later on it'll come out on other consoles. So for me, I think that's still a huge acquisition, because let's face it, if you're a Tomb Raider fan, you want to play the new Tomb Raider game before anyone. You know, you want to be playing it on launch day, and to have, well, I only have a PlayStation, right? Or I only have a PlayStation 4. People who own Xbox consoles are playing it, you know, months ahead of time, and now I have to wait. You might be frustrated, admittedly. I mean, yeah, that's bullshit. I don't think there should be timed exclusives on anything unless it's a console exclusive. It's stupid. So it makes no sense. Except, of course, Microsoft thinking everyone's going to run out and buy their consoles now because they have this whatever the time window is, which we don't even know. So, yeah. But anyway, I guess people have been trying to give me shit this week. Phil won't admit when he's wrong. See, Phil, you were wrong. You were wrong. You said it was a console exclusive. First of all, I never said that. People love to say that I said that it's unclear. We don't know. We don't know what it is. There's no definitive answer. As of Monday, when I said that, there was no definitive answer. No one had interviewed Phil Spencer yet. This didn't happen until Tuesday. So, you know, you can't take an interview from Tuesday that answered the burning question from Monday and say, see, I should have known that on Monday. Sorry, you can't. You lose. So no more, oh, we told you so. No. Sorry. Everyone speculated on Monday. No one knew the answer until Tuesday. But now we have the answer. So I'd be upset if I were a person who only owned a Sony console that I was going to have to wait to play Rise of the Tomb Raider. For me, though, I own both consoles, obviously. So for me, I'll be playing it whatever it's out on first. Although it would be hilarious if everyone gets it on Xbox One and it runs at like 720p 30 frames per second, and then it comes out a month later on PS4 and it's like gorgeous 1080p 60 frames per second. But I digress. You don't know what it's going to be. We have no idea. Alright, everybody. So let's end the pre-stream. Excuse me. Got a little something going on with my throat and my lungs today. I don't know what it is. It might have just been I'm my mouth open or something. So I'm a little bit under the weather in that regard. But everything else is pretty good. So let's get started with about 3.5 solid hours of Grand Theft Auto Vice City stories. Let's end the pre-stream and get started.